We're not in Ballyshawn anymore, boys. We're in the headquarters and still with the build up to the dinner dance Saturday evening, where the guests of honour are going to be the 4 in a row minor winning team for 79, 79, 80, 81, 82. Yeah. And one of the core members of those teams was Mr. Sylvester Maguire, who's not a stranger to this place. And he's going to maybe talk us through the build up to it, the years preceding it, and kind of some of his memories of it. So Sylvester, maybe we'll start kind of a few years before the time, and kind of where that the roots of that great victory would have come. There would have been a few underage wins prior to that, wouldn't there? Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's great to be back here in Croke Park, at the second best pitch in Ireland after Father Tierney Park. Tom Daly told me to say that. And I suppose we started in the 70s when Christian Brothers would have left the town. The likes of Jackie McDermott came in and had success at under 12 level in 74 and 76. I started under 12s in 75. We didn't win anything that year. And we didn't win 14s after that for a while, not from 72 to 2000. But we had under 16s in 78 and 79, which was the genesis of that team coming through.
Mm-hmm. And kind of driving, drivers behind that in terms of the men driving it, managerial and kind of other kind of mentors who them kind of pushing that whole project on.
Well, you would have Jackie McDermott, who was about 30 years ahead of his time in coaching. Some of the stuff he was doing was coming out in coaching manuals in the early 2000s. He was so far ahead of what he was doing. And John Travers, Josie Boyle, Tom Toohey was always there in the background, Ray Sheeran, Teddy Kane. And it was a small enough group, but they were always very heavily involved. And Martin Carney got involved in about 76 with an under 14 team. And of course, he was the Donegal hero at the time. It was great to have him training you. Yeah,
and a few De La Salle heads in there as well. Kind of maybe we're kind of a part of the mix too, like.
Yeah, well, De La Salle were just an all football boys school, and the success of the 1980 All Ireland winning team when they won the Paddy Drummond Cup under Brian Toohey was just an indication of how good they were, and all of that was running through the club from day one, and it was great to see that.
Yep. There's a few people have mentioned about Jack and kind of how he was kind of ahead of his time. Would you kind of maybe put a bit more flesh in it? Kind of what would a drill with Jackie be like?
Fun, crack. A lot of it was old style. It looked a bit old style at the time, but he always had you thinking about the next move ahead. And whereas a lot of other teams wouldn't have been training that much at the time, underage teams were training twice a week. I think it probably now you need to be moving 3 times a week to be even at the races. But we were doing 2 sessions a week, and it was all done with the ball, skill, and always thinking about somebody coming off the shoulder. And he would hold the ball up and say it's all about the wee white thing. And that was the tactic, the wee white thing, and you either put her in the onion bag or over the Dixie, according to Jackie, and that was a great way. We were very positive. There was no negativity. There was no talk about defend this or defend that, just let it play it.
Yeah. So maybe looking back at that first minor one, I suppose, as you say, coming up through the ranks, you had a few wins behind you, and but at the same time, winning that first title, maybe talk us through. It was our draw, wasn't it?
First one in 79 was against Unions.
Oh, sorry, Unions, yeah.
And at that stage, we'd won in under 16 in 78 and 79, so we were getting the taste of winning. As I hadn't won under 12 or 14 at that stage, but we went into that minor game. No big fuss about it. I think it was played just before the county final on the day, and we had a young enough side, as is obvious in the fact that there was a lot of us were there for 2 and 3 years after that. I ended up playing with Michael McGeehan, who was about 2 years older than me, and that makes a difference at that age. But we got through that by playing probably in the last 20 minutes.
And what position were you playing?
Right half forward.
And was any scores or anything?
The umpire wouldn't have been too busy with my shooting.
Yeah. And kind of, do you remember any of the celebrations after it?
Not particularly. We would have went around the town beeping the horns, which was a big thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, in fairness, a tradition we've still kept on, Nero, and the kids love it at the time. And then down to Ann O'Neill's for chicken and chips. Yeah. And Jackie and Ray and Teddy and Josie went through the list as to who was underage for the following year.
Yeah. And as it turned out, there was a right few underage for the following year, and the core of that team went on and kind of put it back to back. But again, in that final, I say, it was 4 masters. You were telling me it's kind of more of a merger of 4 masters and nulls. And there's only a point in it in that final.
Which one?
This is the 80, yeah.
1981, yeah. That was a combination of St. Noel's, Niamh Region 4 Masters, and down in an awful windy day down in Fintra. I actually scored a goal that day. I didn't realise I'd scored a goal for about 20 minutes after, because it was one of the big high ones, and it was lashing rain and a big strong wind, and Tui had to tell me that it was a goal at half time. I didn't realise we'd scored it, but it was low scoring, but it was a dog eat dog. And that was the back of the All-Ireland college winning team that had won the Paddy Drummond Cup. And we were there to be beaten. Like, everyone wanted to beat Ballyshannon because they'd won too much, but we got through there and that. And of that team, there were 6 or 7 of that team went on to play county senior football, which is rare.
And again, they backed it up in 82, yeah, or 81, sorry.
81, well, Ray Sheeran managed the first two, and then
That's right,
and Teddy Kane was the trainer with Josie and Jackie somewhere there in the background. And then Teddy came in 81, 82 as manager, and I think Josie was the trainer. And we beat Four Masters again. I think it was that Four Masters in that final again. And
That was the last one.
and Ardra was the last one. Ewan Natch captained that team. Dar Daly, the first one. Second one was Tommy McDermott. Third one was the Natch, and fourth one was Big Brian Murray. And him and Conor Boyle was in all 4 panels.
Yeah. Was there anything particularly different about Teddy's managerial technique?
Well, it was basic stuff. There wasn't that much talk about tactics or movement, this or whatever. We could go out and play football, and we could all play a bit, so we enjoyed playing it, and we played the game fairly direct, and got enough scores in the day to get over the line, and that's what it's about.
Yeah. And kind of you worked overage finally for the last one in 82. I suppose kind of it was a bit of history, like I said, like Four Masters are kind of chasing it now. Like, it kind of shows the kind of the caliber of that achievement. Like, that it still has to be replicated. And
yeah, but the funny thing at the time, John, was there was no great talk about it. I don't even think I was at the 82 final. I could have been away playing at that stage. I was playing senior football. I could have been away playing with the senior team at that stage. And quite a few of us were playing senior football at 16.
Yeah, but it's such a time for Donegal football. When you think of the under 21 All Ireland, and you're looking at the winning Ulster in 83, and like, you kind of, and you say big Ballyshannon involvement in that, like in a lot of respects.
Yeah, well, 82 All Ireland win with Brian Tui as captain, and Tommy McDermott and myself, and Matt and Parry Collar from Ballantrae, who played all their underage with us in that 82 side. And then we won under 21 championship in 81 with Jamie Flynn as captain, and 82 with Parry Collar as captain. Now, we didn't win the under 21s in 83. We were beaten in a replay by Ardra down in Fintra. Such a place to play a county final, and there was barely a blade of grass ever on the pitch, but that's the way it was. There was a lot of stuff used to go on that time, where you'd be put into the worst pitch you could get Ballyshannon into, because we were used to playing on Father Tierney, big open pitch and good grass on it, and you could kick frees of it. But Ardra beat us after a replay that year, and then 84, I think Ardra beat us in the first round.
I suppose that minor 4 in a row did go on the backbone, basically the 85, 86 teams.
86 we won the first championship,
yeah, 86,
and the backbone of that came from the minors, 86, 87. And then there was another bit of shafting going on at county board level games. We ended up playing Glen in 88 in Glencolin in Fintra in the playoff.
Yeah.
Game was fixed for Ballybuffet, got mysteriously moved to Fintra, and we got beaten in a game as either 5-4 or 6-5.
Yeah. One of the things I suppose is kind of always, kind of a bit sad about these occasions is there are people who kind of passed on in the years that have kind of intervened, So I suppose, like, maybe now a few thoughts about maybe some of those people who won't be able to make it on Saturday night, like.
Well, the great Ray Sheeran was there and gave us great service over the years as the manager of the first 2 teams, and then Dara Daly unfortunately passed away earlier last year, and Parry Collar was tragically killed in America. It was part of them teams as well. Other than that, we're fairly hale and hearty, and met Alan Murray the other day in Mundore, and he's looking forward to it, and it'll be great to meet up with the faces again. A lot of us do meet up regularly around the town, and there'll be a bit of slagging going on. But I suppose the main thing for us was we went out to play football, and there was no other agenda. There was no other major tactics. Each year you had a manager and a trainer. Josie Boyle would probably have doubled up as the physio as well, and then Jack McCadden was the nearest thing we had to medicine on the sideline, or medical background, and he was the ambulance man. He wouldn't even have been a paramedic that they call them now. So if you got a scalp, you just had to get up and play on. Yeah.
Is there anybody particular you're looking forward to swapping war stories with?
Well, I suppose a big D11 appears in the door and he clears the room anyway.
Yeah. Well, here, I say, look, there we are, Crook Park, and no better place for it. Thanks for that, Sylvester.
No bother.